Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you to this new season of The Road Less Taken. We are here in season 3 on this show where we are in conversation with people who've made unconventional career choices and excelled at them. Kicking off season 3, episode 1 is a very, very interesting guest. He's been a TV show host. He's been an actor. You might have seen him on screen in Sacred Games. You might have seen him on screen on Four More Shots Please on Amazon Prime. But a lot of you will remember him being the presenter of the really hit Extraaa Innings show on Sony during the IPL, the first decade of the IPL. Our guest today is the very versatile and very charming Samir Kochhar. Hi Samir, great to have you on The Road Less Taken. Thank you for making it here.
Thank you so much, Venky. Great to be out here as well. And I must tell you, before you start to say anything, I remember we were doing a take for the Flipkart show that we were both doing together.
Right.
And you were, of course, crunching the numbers for us and making these fantastic questions. And there was no Virender Sehwag that day to sit in to do the rehearsals. And I had a certain you who came on and became Virender Sehwag and became the expert. Yeah. And once we finished that 25-minute engagement, I turned around and looked at you and I said, buddy, you're a natural at this. You really should do this. And I'm so happy that you've gone through one whole season and you've had such fantastic guests. So congratulations to you on that. And I'm happy I'm kickstarting season 2 for you. So well done.
Thank you, Samir. Actually, you're kickstarting season 3 in a sense because we did
wow.
We did 2 seasons with 19 episodes so far, and it's all thanks to you for pushing me towards doing this. So great to have you on the show.
You're being too kind. You were always meant to do it. It's I think it comes to you very naturally, and I've seen the shows, and I think the kind of engagement you have with people is so nice, so free flowing, so easy. Also, it's great that you make people comfortable while you chat to them. So, it's always fantastic to be part of something like that. So well done, buddy. Season 3, here we go. Boom. Let's start it off.
Thanks. Yep. Let's get started with season 3. So let me ask you first, did you always think of a career in front of camera, whether it was theater, acting, showbiz? Was that always the dream growing up in Delhi?
I get asked this a lot, and I sometimes I really feel that the answer to this question, no matter what I try to say about it, is absolutely no. Because when you're growing up, you don't know your ass from your head. You're pretty much wanting to run around, run away from studies, or some kids like those. But I mean, the only thing I can say is that I was always inclined towards different aspects of going to school, whether it be like theater. I was the captain of my school football team. I played basketball in school. Cricket, I was a Lapedu batsman, as they call in Delhi, coming 5 down, 6 down, score 30 runs in 7-8 balls and then get out. So that was my calling towards school. And my parents were quite encouraging. They said that, you must keep pursuing what you enjoy doing. So I think somewhere along the other, all these things became something that I wanted to go for, and I was encouraged to go for them. And it just, theater happened in life, travel shows happened, and there was never an absolute, dream set or something that I thought of in my life that, bade okay, yaar, actor banna hai, Bombay jana hai, anchoring karni hai, TV par aana hai. This was never part of the program because I couldn't think beyond, South Delhi and Connaught Place where my school was. I had not seen the world beyond that. Right. And my mom is a PhD, my dad's a CA. I come from a family of doctors. So nobody from like a long distance had ever thought of doing anything in the world of media. And in media, I don't know, coming on camera. So it was never thought of as something that would be a career choice, a career plan for me. What I did enjoy was I really enjoyed the fun of being on stage or enjoying the spotlight when you're doing something, when you're scoring a goal or when you've done that great assist or when you hit that great shot. Right. I really enjoyed those moments and they stayed with me and I used to think about them after they were done and over with. So I think my first play was with Roshan Abbas, who directed a play called Graffiti Postcards from School in Delhi. Okay. And I was playing the lead in this play. I remember it was one of the most terrifying things I have done in my life. We rehearsed for about 9-10 months with it. It was a musical. It was what Greece to America, Graffitis to India, one of those, tall claims to fame. But we were with it and we were in it and Roshan wanted us to do it. And I remember the day the show happened and peeking through that curtain and looking outside and the hall was filled with people. I was just nervous. And those butterflies, I remember that feeling even till now. But once I finished that show and I walked off, and you kind of that end of the show where you hold your hand, you give that final bow, and you kind of hear claps coming your way for the very first time. Either people are being kind, nice, or some of them liked it, didn't like it. But that's kind of addictive, So that's what made me want to do it more and more.
Fantastic.
And that's when you started realizing that, hey, maybe this is something I want to keep doing my whole life. So still in the pursuit of that, still trying to do that. But it was never like a thing saying that, नहीं यार मुझे ये करना था, यहाँ से मैं आ जाऊँगा, फिर theater के बाद मैं acting करूँगा, acting के बाद मैं anchoring करूँगा, फिर मैं walk जाऊँगा. This roadmap, I don't think I was capable of having in my life. It just happened, I think it's just life. But very happy that it happened this way. So
but it happened when you finally kind of moved out of Delhi and came into Bombay, right? Because that's where the action was. Tell us the early days in Bombay. Like, you were a Delhi kid, grown up in Delhi, like, if I may say, posh South Delhi kid coming into Bombay. Like, what was it like?
Well, first of all, it was very annoying because I left the airport and one guy looked at me and did. I had no idea what this guy was doing, and that's how they call people in Bombay. So my first sounds that I heard in Bombay was a guy saying, "Kidhar ko jane ka?" And I was like, what is this guy saying to me, man? Like, I never heard this. Delhi mein kaya, bhai sahab, aap yahan leke chaloge, Lajpat Nagar leke chaloge, This was very amusing for me. And it was just backed by the manic traffic and the lack of space in the city, and just a whole new world. I was blown away by it. I came here for a film, which ultimately didn't work out to be a great film, but it got me into Mumbai. And while I was here, I was wanting to do it all by myself. So I stayed as a PG in this Auntie Lobo's house, which was in Bandra.
In Bandra,
right
yes.
Right next to Pal's Fish Corner. And I stayed there for a few months. I stayed with friends. Then I got my first one-bedroom hall kitchen, which was the size of, let's say, a matchbox. But I loved it. It was so nice. It was my home, my pad.
Right.
So the initial days were interesting. From the point of view of learning and discovering Mumbai, I had no idea how the media world works because I wasn't guided well, nor had I studied enough. And I think back in those days, there was only television, which was an anchoring job, or acting in television, or there was films that you did. There was nothing otherwise in the middle. So you had to do these things, or advertisements maybe, but that again happened not in such a large scale as they happen now.
Right.
So one was, learning the ropes, because the film I did, I thought producers will line up outside my house and get signed up for multiple things. They did not happen, does not happen very easily.
Yeah.
So I did what all kids, all guys in Mumbai do. I had my portfolio, which had those 8x12 photographs. I had some close-ups, I had some profiles, I had some with the leather jacket. You always have to have one with that denim jacket. I remember everybody had one with that denim jacket, and your name, your number, your height, your stats, your biceps, all that was given on it. I had walk in from production house to production house. Famous Studio was a great spot we went to drop photographs.
Right.
And it was always interesting to see the reactions of the secretaries outside, because they like about 10,000 people like me walking in and walking out, right? And you'd always walk in there saying, I'm from Delhi, I'm an actor, this is my portfolio, I like to tell you my body of work. And they'd say, 3 photographs leave, 1 full length, 1 mid, 1 profile, write name, number at the back, we will call you. So one would keep doing this. And there was a film directory, I remember, that we had to, you had the names and numbers of all the directors, producers, production houses. So one would take out 10 numbers, go to those places, call them up, drop your photographs, come back. After you've done that for 5 days, the 6th day you wake up in the morning and look at your phone and say, Budge, come on, bro, ring. And it would not ring. And it would not ring. And then you get depressed for a day, another day. And the next day after that was like, this is not for me, I'm done. And the day after you'd wake up and say, Chal yaar, 10 new numbers, let's give it a shot again. Let's call up some more people. Let's make a few more rounds. And then, a few calls came for work, a few auditions happened, and then the rest is, one got some work and one moved on forward. But I call them, they were glorious years for me. I really, really enjoyed the fact of, trying to make it when there was nothing backing me. And it was
you were a complete outsider in that sense, right? No contacts, no inroads, nothing.
No, I had nobody that I knew of. I had nobody that I could contact from my family's point of view. There were a few people who were in the film trade or in Mumbai. But there were people you knew of people in the film trade, because my PhD mother will not know a producer out here. She'll know some other classmate of hers who lives in South Mumbai who's doing something in her life.
Right.
So it was never that kind of a connect I could form.
Mm.
But there were nice people I met along the way, and they were confident about the stuff I could do. And you get there's I can say that I must have gone to over 1,000 auditions.
Wow.
I must have been rejected from over 900. But you have to keep doing it. So I kept doing it, and it was fun to finally get the right phone call to get the right job for yourself. And then just things move on after that. So it's the only good thing I can say is that I came here when I was 20 years old. It's been about 19 years since, and I feel good that I can still do work on different platforms, whether it's television, film, OTT. So that's one thing I feel happy about during the course of it. But the initial years were very interesting, from days of partying your ass silly, going to random places, trying to meet producers, directors, making phone calls and getting yelled at. I remember this one very big director. I called her up, and she lost it on the phone with me. She says, "How did you get my number? Who are you? Why are you calling me? Why are you doing this? I will report you." And I was like, I banged the phone down. I met her many years later, and I told her.
I was just going to ask, did you meet her many years later?
I did.
This? Okay.
I met her many years later, and we had a good laugh about it. But it's the way it is. You can't keep so many people happy.
Yeah.
From what I hear, they're close to about 230 people. A stat, I don't know if I'm right with the stat, you're the numbers guy, so I can't be figuring on stats with you, but 230 people approximately who come to this city to become actors on a daily basis, or like once in 3 days or something. That's the number I know. So look at the odds we are in.
Yeah.
Because it's just an amazing world, this media world, and it's amazing to be on camera. So yeah, it's fun though. I really enjoyed my early years.
What was your first big break though, that made you confident that yes, I am on this right path, and I wouldn't say I've arrived, but I'm really kind of getting there. What was that first big break?
Well, I was doing this movie I did, which I thought would really work for me. This in fact worked against me, because all the work I'd put in from Delhi into making my base of an anchor, an actor, a guy who's been a news broadcaster, hosting live shows, concerts. And I came into this one film, which was not the right way to start off.
Okay.
But it took me a few years to kind of, get back into trying out different things. There was this travel show I was doing with Didi called Haat Se Haat Mila, which was, again, it was very popular on the Didi platform. Again, the Didi platform at that time, it still isn't that big, but it's very massive.
Wide reach.
So people started recognizing me for that a little bit. But the major break I think I got was for Zoom, when the channel Zoom was launched.
Right.
I was all of 21 years old or 22, and I had to host this late night show called Dangerous, which was a chat show based on sex with Kamal Sidhu. And we were as graphically descriptive as we could be, while providing education around sex to people. And it was one of those late night shows, and that got a lot of eyeballs turning A towards the show, and B towards me and Kamal and what we were saying as the faces of it. We were reading off teleprompters, not that we knew anything about it then. And you
were the ones giving the message, so that's what.
We were the ones. We were talking about different positions. We were talking about the use of different aphrodisiacs and stuff like that, while you practice safe sex, while you are using all kinds of precautions, while you're not hurting and cheating people. So it was a good show, I think, ahead of its time, and that kind of brought me into limelight with at least the press and with a lot of people who would watch that show. So I think my first kind of awareness when it came to me from people's side was the show Dangerous, and we ran it for 9 months. It was a tough one to be a part of, because we in about 4 days have to shoot 35 episodes.
Wow.
And back to back, go change your clothes, come back, talk about another episode, and sex on the toes, sex on the eyes, sex on the body, sex and chocolate, sex and this, sex. I'm like, by the end of it, it's like, oh my God, man, somebody get me out of here.
Yeah.
But it worked well. So that was one of my first gigs.
Yeah.
I did. And after that, from the acting point of view, when I did Mahesh Bhatt's film Zahar and Jannat, that's when people started looking at me as an actor as well. Yeah.
And then your big love for sports. You said you used to play at school, you continued to play, and then that kind of came together very nicely in 2008 when this big unknown thing called the IPL was launched. You became the face of it. Now, of course, everybody is in tune with IPL. But tell us, when you guys started off with IPL, did you have an inkling as to how big it was going to become? And was it a strange thing to do, cricket plus entertainment together?
It was bizarre.
Right.
It was absolutely bizarre. I don't know what I was going for. I was called by the Sony guys. Aloka Guha called me to the office, and apparently she said that you must come here. And she said, I'm very upset with you because there was another show that we had offered you and you didn't do it. So I was like, hey, you're calling me for something and you're upset about something in the past. So you to mujhe kabhi milne nahi wala. Aur pata nahi hai bhi kya.
Right.
So when he said it's some kind of a cricket tournament that's coming to the country, and you have to stand there and we're going to put you on camera and see whether you work for us. Or you have to talk to camera and say, I'm standing at the stadium and some runs have been scored and blah, 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 blah. And I did it, yeah. And then 5 days later, they called me up and said, so this tournament called the IPL is happening. So you're on. I said, 1 minute. This is live. She said, yes. She said, come on, man. This is live television. And I'm a cricket enthusiast. I love following the game. But ye matlab, live, matlab ye hai kya hai? What is this tournament? Who are playing? What's the scene? So she said, no, it's a very big one. You must do it. I was like, okay, yeah, chalo, 1.5 months, they're paying me money. I'll do it and I'll come back. And I went on board. And then when I was ready for the tournament, I remember my first day, Venky, I walked into that PCA stadium in Mohali. Till then, I was completely unaware. I walked inside. There was a packed stadium. Same number of people standing outside. Wow. And I had to go inside and host this game on national television. And my producer in my ear saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on air live. My God, yeah. It was one of the most nerve-wracking things I have done in my life. But I realized that day that what I was thinking about this tournament was far from reality. This was a monster, a most beautiful monster that was created and here and made to stay. By Sony and of course the BCCI and everything else who put this tournament together. And then I realized that this is something very special that I'm going to be a part of. So moving from city to city, hosting this tournament, really requesting the experts on my first season that listen, sir, whether it's Mr. Fernando, I will always remember Ranjit Fernando. I said, sir, when I asked you a question, you keep answering. When I nod my head, no, I'll think of another question, then you stop talking. So he's very nice to me. So he was very sweet to me. He helped me out a lot. But then, it was incredible I had no idea Venky is going to be so big. I sometimes really look back on it also and say, I hosted it for 10 years on Sony. I was
a lot of innovations that you guys brought in, right? I mean, you kind of changed the way broadcasting of sport happened in some sense, if I might say so.
Yeah, it was unique. It was cricketainment, if you want to call it that. It was fun. It was just bringing out a new side of the experts. I mean, I think that what we very nicely did was that along with the show Extraaa Innings was that we created a show that did not just cater to the purist, did not cater to the existing crowd of cricket watchers, but to create a new kind of viewership for a game like this. It was Bollywood meeting cricket. It was, the best players across the world playing with, India's finest. It was 20 overs, quick fire, 120 balls, boom, sixes, hat-tricks, catches. So the flavor had to be that in your face. The flavor had to be, pretty much like you're having a blast. It's like a party and you're celebrating on a daily basis. So we tried to do that. We were helped with the whole. There were cheerleaders. There were there was a drummer. There were musicians. There were Bollywood celebrities coming in, talking about their films on our show. So it became like this really nice mashup of entertainment and also we talked cricket. We also talked about the fact that what are the possibilities in the game. The other unique thing was covering from the ground and from the studio at the same time. So you had two hosts in every game. One is bringing you the action like you're sitting at the ground, so you feel you're ringside and you can actually touch and feel what's happening. And then you have a studio which is fancy and you got your colorful lights and your entries, and it was like doing a concert every day. Hard to do as well because it had a lot of timelines, the sponsor commitments. There were the toss we had to hit live, the game we had to throw to live. But 10 years just went off.
What was your most memorable moment in those 10 years?
I mean, too many, Venky.
Just one. Like the most.
I'd say, I don't know if the one that comes right now to me is the one where I think it it was bittersweet, but it was great that I could have been there. I remember when the Mumbai Indians won the championship, and it was Sachin's last game, where he was going to hang his boots after that.
Yeah.
And immediately after the game, I had Sunny Gavaskar with me, and Sachin walked there, and he stood right there next to me. And it was me having the last chat with Sachin Tendulkar, and the original Little Master and the Little Master were there. And we had this great chat about cricket, and the original Little Master, Sunny Ji, told him that, proud of you, boy. You go out there, you made us proud. And Sachin was saying that how will I ever forget these moments? How will I ever, not want to play again? But it is what it is. So I think that was a very beautiful moment when I could conduct that. All over, there were so many others. There's one with Dale Steyn. Dale Steyn and me had to cover a story in the morning, and I didn't actually. It was one of those VTs, right? Okay. Those stories that are away from the actual broadcasting of stuff and the sights and sounds of the city, basically. So I was told at 2:30 at night, you have to shoot a story in the morning at 6:30. I said, "Dekho, yaar, I've done it for 6-7 years. I'm a senior now. Send somebody else, please." But I said, "No, there's nobody else, and you have to do it." So 6:37, and I was also with the team, and I was enjoying the evening beverage. So that went on a little late. Right. So one was in a state of not wanting to wake up early the next day, considering it was my day off. Right. Next morning, I get dragged out of my bed in a car, taken to this spot where I'm told, along with Dale Steyn, "Hi Dale, how's it going? We have to jump off an aeroplane, 15,000 feet in the air." What are you saying? Yeah, you got to do this tandem jump, but you got to jump off. You got to skydive. Okay. I'm like, 1 second, guys. You give somebody 2-3 months of preparation before you want to jump out of a plane. And you go mentally prepared. Then I'll jump off an aeroplane. It'll be that life-altering moment for me. Yeah. Not when you're sitting at 2:30 last night, having a drink with the boys and being told in the morning, "Hey, chalo yaar, plane se chalang laga do. Or Dale Steyn bhi kood raha hai, tum bhi kood jao." So I was like, we went up in the air at 15,000 feet. Wow. And I can tell you, when that door of the plane opens up, it's just another sense of fear, another level of fear that goes into your body. And I saw Dale was looking at me, I was looking at him. The world's about to lose the greatest fast bowler and one of the anchors in the world. But that's right. He jumped, and then the scariest 2 seconds of my life was holding that ledge and just looking down. But then I let go. I had to be on camera. There was a guy going to be filming me. So I let go and I skydived. And when I came to the ground, it was spectacular. That free fall was something else. So another big high moment for me. And luckily it happened. Didn't want it to happen, did not know it's going to happen, but it did happen. So a lot of these things really kind of...
Great story. I want to quickly now forward you on to what's been happening over the last couple of years. We've seen this transformation from TV to OTT happen in a big way. You've seen it work very well for yourself as well, with Sacred Games and 4 More Shots Please becoming big hits, and lots of accolades for your roles in both those. And now you've also started producing for OTT as well. Tell me, both as someone on both sides of the camera, so to say, both as the talent and the actor as well as a producer, where do you see this shift going? Is it as transformative as people make it out to be, or is it just another thing that's happening?
Well, I think that the current situation we're in with the OTT platforms has given a lot of people an opportunity to go and explore and do what they want to do. I think for me, a revelation just happened that I'm doing all this work for other people. And so many years I've thought about doing work for myself, and so many things that I wanted to act in, things I wanted to, like the way I'd want to anchor a show, the way I'd want to produce a show. I mean, today in this digital ocean, where these big, streamliners are out there and, they're moving around and producing content, I don't see why there's a problem that I don't float this small little boat of mine and go and try enjoying some stuff that I want to make. So donning the hat of somebody who wants to produce is, again, very new to me. I had a great time doing it with Flipkart right now when I produced this show called Power Play with Chan. Of course, with you. It was interesting. Great learning. That there's a lot more that goes in. For years, I've been somebody who's been on camera, and my job has been to go and execute my lines or to conduct a show or everything else like that. But there's so many other things that go into, putting together the whole aspect together. So it's a learning for me. I'm enjoying it. It's a different way of talking to people. It's daily, getting stuff done. It's a new way of looking at life, because Now you're not just focused on yourself, but you're focused on the product on the whole. And even sometimes what you're trying to make, you might not fit into it, but it's maybe something that you want to tell as a story. So yeah, I'm trying different things. Have this really nice travel show that I went to Masai Mara in Kenya with a group of 7-8 people. And we went and shot this amazing pilot episode, which we are now in talks to trying to sell and trying to make into like a series of sorts that I don't see there's too much travel from India that's really talked about, but it's something that really excites me. That there's some of the web series that we want to produce. So yeah, it's an interesting transition for me. I'm learning. I have the right people on board. I have people who are helping me out, people who are working with me. So one is constantly guided and keep being told, listen, calm down. It doesn't happen in a day. It takes a week, 10 days. Don't get carried away. Because I'm always like, you do a job, you get a phone call, okay, no, yeah, okay, I'll do it, done. Kind of boom. यहाँ पर यार अच्छा concept बनाओ, फिर भेजो, फिर response मांगो, फिर उनका feedback लो, then rework on feedback, then rework on budget, so all these things I'm trying to figure out. But the good thing at the end of it is that I am really enjoying the fact that I can at least try and produce something of my own. Acting is by far the number one thing that comes to me when I look at my likes or my wants. I've been very blessed with anchoring, and the pursuit is always to play great roles. But in the meantime, I just think that also as actors, Venky, as people on camera, we have so much free time on our hands. I can't tell you. Where if you're not working, there's a lot of free time that you have. So might as well make the most of it, and try doing stuff that one can do. So it's an interesting transition. Hopefully it works out.
Great. All the best for all the new stuff that's lined up.
Thank you.
2 more questions before we close. One is a very simple, slightly philosophical question, but I want to ask you this. 2 decades of being in this, what is it today that gives you the most joy doing what you do?
Oh my God. What gives me the greatest joy is that I'm still here. I'm still here, and I feel that there's so much to achieve that it's just probably started out for me. 2 decades of being here, also having a great family, being married to wonderful kids. Never pictured my life in Mumbai. Never kind of saw myself being part of this world, and I'm very grateful I'm here. And each day, every time I get bogged down by something, I just keep thinking of my life that I'm one of those fortunate people who got to pursue my passion into work. So I can't afford to grumble even a single day, because I truly am blessed that I can do stuff that I love doing. So it gives me joy to know that people like what I do. Some people who don't, you work for them to like you with the other work that you can do or improve your work. It's great to be recognized. It's great to be told that you make a difference. It's great to bring happiness to people's lives. It truly is, like I think we're really blessed as people who are on camera or in the media field, because you can do stuff that reaches out and touches others. And I'm very happy with the fact that I'm part of this world. So and a lot more to do, which every day you keep feeling. It's not like in a profession like a CEO के यार अब CEO बन गए, अब यहाँ पहुँच गए, चलो ये business पूरा cash को छोड़ के नया शुरू करते हैं. There's no sense like you're reaching a point where it's all ended. It's just like it feels like there's something new got to start somewhere there, which is a great joy being here.
And my final question to you is, what is it that you would like to say today to the Samirs of 20 years ago who are today wanting to come into Bombay or make their lives in the media space, in the showbiz space? What would you tell them?
Talking to myself 20 years back, I'd first tell myself that get to know your ass from your head first. Figure out and know what you really know in your life, and know and understand where you're about to walk into. It's going to be uncertain, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be unknown, but still prepare yourself as much as you can. Don't just walk in with your with just like wanting things to happen. You must know what you're getting into. You must work on your craft. You must know what you want. You must know the ways of going about doing things. You must also be a dreamer and not take no for an answer. You got to be a little thick-skinned. Yet you have to be emotional, because that's the only way you can connect with being any character that you want to be. And also, learn from hardships, I guess. But just focus on the goal. I think the goal is like, if you want to stay here long enough, if you want to matter, if you want to be somebody who is known, recognized, then you got to follow that path which says that I am going to be struck by this on a daily basis. No is the word I'm going to listen to a lot. Being told I'm not good enough is a word it's a sentence you're going to get to listen to a lot. There will be lows. There will be further lows. There'll be many a time you'll be told in your head by yourself that this is just not worth it. I think happiness just lies when you cross all of that. So the second you cross all that, at your lowest, if you can just convince yourself to go on that extra mile, is when I think magic will hit you. And I think Mumbai or the world of entertainment is a very accepting field. It really is, it gives you a lot of grief when you start off. And it gives you a lot that you have to try and overcome, and it beats you down because you're also wanting something which I'd say 95% of the country is wanting. So if those are the odds against you, then you might as well, wait it out and fight it out and keep working on that craft of yours. I think it's truly, truly important, and not let things get to your head. You're as good as one good thing you do on camera, and you're as bad as that one bad thing you do on camera. So it's just and don't take yourself that seriously. You're ultimately just a guy who's doing something on camera, and a few people recognize you, maybe many do, but you come back home to yourself. Have friends around you who treat you like shit half the times, because it'll be the only way you'll be happy. I mean, I don't know, maybe that currently is on my mind, but if I could think of other stuff, I'd tell you.
Yeah, fantastic, Samir. Always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for sharing your fascinating journey. Thank you very, very much.
My pleasure, Venky. May you go on from strength to strength. Season 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Thank you.
Brother. Thank you so much for having me on.
So that was Samir Kochhar talking about his journey of how he came to Mumbai from Delhi, not knowing anyone in the industry, managed to bide his time, do the rounds, get his gigs, and is pretty successful today. I hope that inspired you, excited you, set you thinking. And if it did, this is the show for you. Please go look up all past episodes in full and highlights packages on our YouTube channel, Nexus Consulting, as well as on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages. We also post stories regularly on our LinkedIn page, both my personal page as well as the Nexus Consulting pages. So we look forward to your patronage and for you to like, share, and subscribe these stories which you think are interesting and impactful with people whom you know. Till we see you at another episode of The Road Less Taken, this is Venky Srinivasan saying, stay safe, stay healthy, take care, and bye-bye.